Ladies and gentlemen, now I'm going to start off this video by issuing a challenge to players that are better than myself, and I know there's plenty of them out there. We've got like some top tier players like Sweeter, Metal Sonic Dude, Legacy, Biro Man, FinTech as well, and just so many like players that are on like a whole new level. Because like I'm alright at this game, man, but as you can see from the live streams, like sometimes I play well and sometimes I absolutely suck. So we got Thronebreaker in 25 days on the free-to-play account, and there's like a multitude of reasons that it's so much quicker than the last free-to-play, which we got the Grandmaster down in a year and a half, but we never even got Thronebreaker because we couldn't form the T5CC at this time. So my challenge is I think it is just about possible to get Thronebreaker in under 7 days, in under a week, if you are like the absolute perfect player. You get a little bit lucky, and also on the condition that the 30% boosters from the side events still remain in the game. So that is my challenge to any of the sweatiest tryhards. You're also going to need to line it up well with like a monthly side event, probably toward the end where everything is unlocked. But yeah, I think Thronebreaker in 7 days is possible by the end of this year. Because like reviewing my challenge today, I think I could have done it much faster under certain criteria, because as well we got it down in 25 days. However, I was quite ill for the majority of it, especially during the middle part there as well. So yeah, we actually lost like a lot of time. So I think the kind of best I could have run it in would have been somewhere between like 14 to 20 days if I was grinding like a lot more excessively as well. Because I haven't really done like that much arena grinding, but I wanted to put together like a full guide today and a full like breakdown and tips of like everything I did to get a new free-to-play account from like absolute scratch all the way up to Thronebreaker, and some of like the most important stuff on, you know, a daily basis. So yeah, we got this big spreadsheet. Link is going to be in the comments section, but I got 3 columns like notable content. There's also a link directly to all of the live streams, crystal openings, anything that's like really important there. If you want to go through, if you feel like you're at a certain point and you just want to see when your account was at this point, like what were you doing, what were you focusing on there. So yeah, we've got all of the links and all of the crystal openings, and also on the right hand side I've just kind of put important notes for the day and stuff that happened that was significant or is just, you know, cool to talk about. So yeah, day one, again, day one, right off the bat, it was just making the biggest possible story push that we could. We got all the way to the end of Act 4 and we got Maestro down. That was a little bit long, a little bit of a grind, but we started off with 4-star Quicksilver and also 3-star Captain Marvel movie as well. And at the end of that day, we pulled Heimdall, and Heimdall was amazing for, what is it, the Uncollected push. So day 2 was finishing up the December side events. So we did like, what is it, Rocket Scrapyard, we did Heroic and Master, and now that we had unlocked those via the story as well. So we got a load of 4-star shards. I think we got a 4-star Nexus as well, and that's where we got Shang-Chi from. So yeah, the side events are still really, really good. Like, side events are probably some of the best, if not the best rewards in the entire game overall. They are just seemingly mega every single month, especially for progressing players. And then on day 3, we start off doing Act 1 and Act 2 100%. We got all of the units, all of the revives there, so that we could then make a push for Uncollected. So we did Act 5 Chapter 1, Act 5 Chapter 2. And yeah, I got a little bit more wrecked in Act 5 Chapter 2 than I expected. Like, Bane was really annoying, like Buffet was a bit annoying, Masochism was really annoying. We also had like the most basic mastery setup as well, so that that didn't help too much. And also, yeah, what is it? We only had like Shang-Chi and Kitty at 440 as well, so they weren't leveled, they weren't awakened, but we got through it, man. It really wasn't too bad overall. So yeah, we got Uncollected unlocked there, and then the next day, once we had Uncollected, it was just like friggin' all about incursions, because we were at a point in the calendar where incursions were about to reset in a few days' time. So we made like a big push in Sector 2 and Sector 3, and I was just getting as many incursions artifacts as we could, but then saving them until we unlocked the 5-star crystal in the incursions store. And then also because in the first week you have the The Summoner Sigil free trial, and also the starting XP 30% booster. I needed to do a lot of farming in the in Act 4, just kind of going around like finding energy refills where I could, just kind of like looking in all of the quests to see if there was an energy refill, go down that path, clear it, and then the energy refill would, you know, pay for itself there. But yeah, I needed to hit level 40 in order to unlock Uncollected and higher difficulties in the monthly event quest, so that's why I couldn't go like straight into Uncollected. And then the next day, because we'd done a lot of incursions farming, we then moved on to a bit of mastering the event quest, 100% of that. We uncollected, did the completion in the event quest, and also more rocket scrapyard. We kind of pushed higher difficulties on that as well. So we cleaned up like every 4-star we could in the early game. And then I think I only came to like, I think it was about 14, 15. So then I had to go to the Incursions Artifact store and I had to buy like, I think it's like 1 or 2 there. And then we had 16. And then we just did like this mega Incursions crystal opening, a mixture of, again, Incursions Artifacts and also 5-star shards for Uncollected, the Master Side event, Rocket Scrapyard, like all of this stuff coming together. Just yeah, make it a really, really juicy day 5 in terms of the quantity of 5-stars that we got. And the first like 5 stars were Kamala Khan, Doc Ock, Iron Man Infinity War, Darkhawk, and Silver Centurion. I would say like overall, Doc Ock at the time was the biggest W, and Darkhawk was very useful for like certain bleed nodes that we were encountering, and Kamala Khan like became like the backup option if we needed her for like Cavalier Crossbones or 6.2 Mr. Sinister, but that would have meant like taking her to at least rank 4, and I really didn't want to do that. So I would say like overall, our first 5-star crystal opening was like a little bit mid, you know, there was nothing like god tier beyond god tier. Like Doc Ock is very useful and arguably god tier, but there's been like so many broken champions, especially in the last what is it, 4 or 5 years, and a lot of OG champions that are just like super broken. So yeah, nothing there was like absolute like steamroll everything. So yeah, the next day we did more Rocket Scrapyard and also Uncollected Event Quest 1.100%. So just getting a few more shards there, and also Incursion Sector 5 farming as well to get more Incursions artifacts. And then on day 7, I didn't stream there, so we had like the last day of the XP boosters, and I need to hit level 45 because that unlocks like all of the content. You've got all of the variant stuff that's kind of walled behind your level there. So yeah, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna need to literally like auto farm stuff. So just auto farming like Act 4, and also doing classic variant completion with the mastery cores as well. So yeah, very boring stuff. Not streamed at all because yeah, there was nothing like really interesting going on there at all. I just needed to make the most of the XP booster there. And then on day 8, we did a bit of Sector 3 and 4 incursions farming. So this is when we got the the reset for the zone rewards and incursions, and this was like insane, dude. So we did like a triple 5-star crystal opening. We had 2 from the incursions artifacts, we had 1 from shards, and we got 5-star Heimdall and 5-star Cosmic Ghost Rider from the incursions artifact ones. And yeah, these characters, man, this is just a big W. Cosmic Ghost Rider, I would say if there was a character that carried this account the most, it would probably be 5-star Cosmic Ghost Rider. But I also think there's probably about 10 to 20 champions overall in the game. You've got like Hulkling, Aegon, Hercules, of course, tons of really good mutants and all sorts of like insane characters that are probably around the level of what Cosmic Ghost Rider can do for a new account. So yeah, we all are also in a state of the game where there's just like so many broken champions, but Cosmic Ghost Rider is definitely one of like those game-changing characters. So yeah, that was absolutely amazing there. And then over the weekend, it was my birthday, so I was just away seeing friends, seeing family. So I was just kind of like casually farming arena, doing alliance events. We also did the heroic event quest completion, and this is where I found out about the 500 unit bundle that comes from heroic, and this is just like an absolute game changer. So this bundle, I would say is probably one of the biggest things overall for like Giga free-to-play progression at the moment, because you buy these bundles and they're like 500 or 1,000 units, depending on the event quest difficulty, and you would spend all of these units anyway on like the revives or team revives or energy refills, because they've got all of that stuff in. But also on top of that, you get the 5 times 30% 1 hour boosters, so 30% more attack, 30% more health. So it kind of makes your champions like almost 2 ranks higher than they are naturally, which is just absolutely absurd. So it really allows you to just chuck on these boosters and like punch above content that usually you'd struggle like a little bit more with. So yeah, those combined with like Cosmic Ghost Rider, man. When we came back on the Monday, we went to town. So we did a bit more incursions farming. And then we went for all 5 difficulties of the January side event, because there's no lock. Even if you're uncollected, you can still do the Thronebreaker one. So we got a ton of 5-star shards, tier 2 alpha. There was 3 tier 5 basic in the final one, and also a stack of 6-star shards as well. So we did this mainly with 5-star Cosmic Ghost Rider rank 3, and also Shang-Chi as well was amazing for a couple of the fights, like the Man-Thing matchup. And then we took Cosmic Ghost Rider to rank 4 from the tier 2 alpha that we got in that side event, and then we pulled Nebula from one of the 5-star crystals. And Nebula at the time, like, I completely like slept on how good her buff is, and she is just amazing for progression. Nebula was like, yeah, I would say easily one of the top 5 wins on this account, because she just demolished the end of Act 5. She was brilliant in Act 6, Chapter 1. So yeah, Nebula was just a big, big W there. But yeah, that was day 11. And then unfortunately, after that, I was off sick with a flu for like 9-10 days, dude. It really, really sucked. Because like after that stream, I was feeling like so confident, because everything in that side event was like more difficult than anything in like Act 5 completion. So it's like, okay, we take the Nebula up to rank 3. We're just going to go. We're going to absolutely smash out Act 5 Chapter 4 completion. So yeah, we had a little bit of time off, but then day 21, we came back and we went for it. And then after recovering and completing that, we got enough 6-star shards, along with, doing that side event on day 11 to get our very first 6-star champion crystal. And we got Black Widow Clairvoyant, dude. And that was ridiculous, man. Absolute God mode pull there. But also, we got 5 5-star champions. We got what is it? There's a couple of shards that I was accruing while I was just kind of like grinding off sick, just doing alliance events and stuff. And then I think the other 2 came from Act 5 completion. So yeah, we got Longshot and Colossus, big wins there. We're later going to rank those up. And then we also got like Night Thrasher, Mangog, and Drax. None of those really did anything, but again, I just wanted to like show the range and variety of RNG there. And then the next day we did Cavalier, so we did Act 6 Chapter 1 completion between like Nebula, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Black Widow Clairvoyant. Very easy to make the push to Cavalier. But even before I got Claire, I was pretty confident that I could do it, because like Nebula does all of the fights there. And yeah, the only thing that we used Claire for that we could have used Nebula for was like the Act 6 crossbones. But again, Nebula, even at rank 3, like has enough damage to beat the Enrage Timer with a 30% booster. And by the Enrage Timer, I mean the healing check required on that fight. And we did get a 5-star Dr. Voodoo. Voodoo's good, but again, we got Clairvoyant, we got Longshot, so Voodoo is just chilling in the roster. And then day 23. So we did the January side event, dude. This January side event is actually ridiculous. So again, chucking on a 30% booster. The Quicksilver chapter sucked in this, but the next one was really, really good. It was the Omega Sentinel one. So if we go up to like threat level 5, I'll just like show you some of the rewards there for doing 100%. So we got this down, and if you ever look at the rewards again, it's a really nice stack, like 3,000 6-star shards. We've actually also on our journey to Paragon got a bit of tier 6 basic already as well. However, the big thing is the 50% T5CC selector, and we just went straight for Mystic on this one. So yeah, that was like halfway toward Black Widow Clairvoyant. And again, this is just one quest 100% with 2 paths in. And then going into Chapter 2, We got a Mega Sentinel down, and a Mega Sentinel, again, gave a 50% selector. So this is how we got the T5CC to meet the 6-star rank 3 criteria. So yeah, just as a bit of an insight to that one. But yeah, overall, that was incredible. And also, like, a really notable reward as well is going into even the lower difficulty, threat level 4, and I think this is in the Mega Sentinel one here. There was a generic 5-star Awakening gem. So yeah, making my push toward Act 6. We're later going to use this on Cosmic Ghost Rider. So that's how we got that man awakened there. And then the next day, so I was kind of like sitting there at this point. I'm thinking, okay, the biggest problem I have on my free-to-play account is ISO. Like, I've got such limited options to level up because, like, ISO's really easy to get once you've got like all of the 4-star champions, and then you're just getting them awakened. But that takes a little bit of time, you know. It takes probably about what is it, 3 to 6 months to get a point where you're getting like really good ISO gain from 4-star crystals. So yeah, that's still like the biggest challenge moving forward for my free-to-play is ISO. But yeah, I'm kind of like, I'm really stubbornly like, okay, I don't want to rank up Kamala Khan. If I go through the variants as well and do Uncollected completion and maybe buy like a few shards as well in the Battleground store, then I'm gonna have enough to open 2 more 6-star crystals, and I hope I can get a Poison Immune Fury champion for the Mr. Sinister boss fight in Act 6. So we do the Blood of Venom variant, and I died a fair bit in that, man, especially to the Mojo boss, I think to the Spider-Man boss as well. But in both of the variants, the overarching theme was I died a lot more than I expected and used a lot more revives than expected, but I still had a lot of them available from buying kind of the previous bundle. And also kind of after the first variant, I went and did Uncollected and then brought the 1,000 units bundle, which is essentially like double the 500 unit bundle that I showed you. So it has 10 of the 30% boosters. It's got like 10 team revives, 10 single revives as well. And we still had like a fair chunk of revives like left over from doing 100% in some of the early content. And it's just like really easy to farm 20% revives in like the Thanos quest as well. At the end of like, what is it, Act 3. There's like a crazy revive farm there for free to play, so that's a really nice time. So yeah, we smashed through the first variant, got the bundle, went on to the second one, and we opened the 6-star champion crystals. We got Cyclops out of the first one, and then we got Korg out of the second one. And our 5-star characters were Purgatory, Red Skull, not really that good. But then on the final 5-star round after the hero variant, we then got Gore, we got Hela, we got Falcon, and Hela was the big W of the day. Like, Hela allowed us then to have the synergy with Heimdall, so if we dash back and hold block, we get a Fury on any character, which means that either Nebula or Black Widow can get through the what is it, Act 6, Chapter 2, Mr. Sinister. And then the next day, we did exactly that. So the final push for full Act 6 completion, we took Colossus and Longshot up to rank 4. However, as I mentioned earlier, I was struggling with ISO, so they were only like level like 10, 20 out of like 45. So yeah, very underleveled, still like lacking a load of stats there in comparison. But again, we did have a 30% booster active, and on certain fights as well would add in like the ones from the, I think it's the loyalty store, where it's like 15%, 10% more attack and health there. So yeah, those are very nice. So we took up Colossus for the Iceman and Havoc matches, and Longshot we took up for the Do You Bleed Medusa in 6-3. And this is the point as well. We used the generic Awakening gem from the side event on Cosmic Ghost Rider. And yeah, I didn't have enough ISO. I didn't have the resources, but I was lacking the ISO to rank Cosmic Ghost Rider up to rank 5. So this run would have been even easier and even smoother if we did have Cosmic Ghost Rider at rank 5 as well. And also, we did have 30% boosters then active for all of Act 6, because again, we got 10 yesterday from the Uncollected 1,000 units bundle. And moving into Chapter 2, so we did like a massive day of streaming. Really like moving into Act 6, there's kind of like 5 fights that I was always thinking about beforehand, and I think these are like the 5 most troublesome fights. You've got 6-2 Mr. Sinister, 6-2 Champion, 6-3 Do You Bleed Medusa, and then you've got the 6-3-6 Captain America Infinity War, you can only damage him with critical strikes, but you can only like crit him half the time. And he has like, what is it, that really annoying node where he just throws special 1, special 2, and then won't throw anything aside from his special 3. So yeah, that fight still sucks. I think that's probably like the worst fight overall. And then finally, you've got the Grandmaster. So like thinking about, you know, what resources I was allocating and what fights I was trying to counter, I generally find like approaching Act 6, those are the 5 fights you want to think about and focus on and just make sure you've got like a good way to get through all of them. Because aside from that, nothing else is like too bad. There are like annoying fights and annoying bosses, but those I would say are generally like the big roadblocks for a lot of people when it does come to what is it, Act 6 progression, and also getting Thronebreaker as well. So for myself, Act 6 Chapter 2 went smoother than expected. 6.2 Sinister was very easy with the Heimdall synergy, and also he no longer applies the shock to you as well. So yeah, that just makes the fight like so much easier. We one-shot it very easily with Black Widow, but Nebula would have worked as well. And then for the 6.2 champion, I kind of just for a bit of fun went in with Cosmic Ghost Rider, and like he was crazy good. Like you kind of just need a character on that fight now that can deal as much damage as possible between the Unstoppables, and even during the Unstoppables you can still like throw special attacks to deal damage, because he's unstoppable. He's only unstoppable on basic attacks. So yeah, just like getting as much damage as you can, and then when he's regenerating too much or you've dealt too much damage, just kind of like quit out the fight. And it's really easy to get it down to the final phase, and then the final phase, like you just need to dex the special 1 3 times. But there's also persistent charges, so if you like dex 1 and then die, you only need to dex 2 in the next fight, or you can just do like 1 dex per fight or 1 dex per revive and then finish it off. Like it's just so much easier and a lot less stressful than that fight used to be. So yeah, the champion is a much better time now, man. Then moving on to Act 6 Chapter 3, that also went a bit smoother than expected. So for the Do You Bleed Medusa, we removed the Dexterity Mastery. So now you can like reset talents, but only in one particular tab. So it's a very low cost to just reset that. I think it was like 10 units or something. So yeah, very cheap and easy. So then we didn't need to worry about the buffet node and the healing there. And then all we needed to do was like spam the special 1. While long shots like passive Pure of Heart was active. So yeah, we also had a 6-star Hawkeye from what is it, day 23, when we're doing like the January side event quest. Open a 6-star, it was Hawkeye there. Hawkeye's a really good bleed on his special 3, so I think you can still do that with you know, him if you do have a version of him. But even like, you know, spamming the special 1, spamming the special 2, if you take it a bit slower, I think works for Hawkeye. Really like any bleed champion. Now that fight also has like a little bit of a health nerf, because it's only about I think it was about 175,000 hit points, and you need to just deal bleed damage, and there's also 200% bleed vulnerability. So yeah, any bleed champion, as long as you remove the Dex Mastery, can get through that fight. And I feel like it was a bit easier, but again, make sure you don't bring any champions with like too many buffs naturally, or really any buffs naturally, or else you also need to contend with the buffet node, and that does suck a little bit there. I'd say the Mysteria is still a bit annoying in what is it, 635, because he's got the if you use the same action twice in a row, you're gonna miss, and yeah, that isn't super fun. But like, he's not really got anything else, so you can get in, deal a little bit of damage, just die and just go again. But we luckily got through that fight and didn't use any revives. But I think I was like down to my last champion, and like Colossus finished it off or something. So yeah, I didn't play the best on that one. And then Captain America is still the worst boss in my opinion. It was just like a couple of team revives, I think, to get through him. And yeah, just a lot of like playing aggressive and trying to get any of the critical strikes that you can on him. And it just takes a while. He's still quite chunky in the hit points. Again, you can only damage him with critical strikes while his like shield is down, and it's just a pain, man. It's not like a really difficult fight, it's just a long fight, and it's just a little bit annoying there. And then finally moving into Act 6 Chapter 4. So the first 2 bosses, Iceman and Thor Ragnarok, are very easily downed, especially if you've done, you know, the rest of Act 6 so far. Shouldn't really have any problems there. And then in, what is it, quest number 3, there is a pre-boss Annihilus with no retreat that's a little bit annoying. We died, I think, with one character there. And then also Darkhawk has like minus 50% special attack cost reduction, so just spam special attacks like crazy. So again, he can just be a bit annoying. He used to have unblockable at the start. He no longer does now. So yeah, it does make that a lot easier. And then Captain Marvel in the next quest. Boss is very, very easy. Path is super cheesy as well. You've got Icarus for the easy one there. And then the Hydra Adaptoid in 6.4.5 is very easy. I think if you bring in any champion that can I think nullify, but clairvoyant, again, you have like the buff immunity that you apply to the opponent. You get rid of the opponent's unstoppable, the power gain. So yeah, it just makes that fight like super, super trivial there. And then finally for the Grandmaster, you can really use like any champion in the game. The Grandmaster is less about the champion that you bring in and more about your knowledge of the fight. So again, if you're going for the Grandmaster, you got to make sure you're prepared. You kind of like watch strategy guides on YouTube. You know like what's going on and also how to dodge his special one, because it's all about just like getting into a good cycle with the special one every single phase and making sure you don't mess up on that. But yeah, overall, Grandmaster, again, just takes a little bit of practice. And again, I've already done the Grandmaster many times on my main account, made a video guide for it, and also done it on a previous free-to-play account. But overall, you just want like a good team for that fight, and team revives are like pretty good to bring in as well. But yeah, that is it. And then we got the Grandmaster down. It's just GG. So overall, yeah, we got like super lucky getting Cosmic Ghost Rider, Heimdall, Nebula, Clairvoyant early on. But I also think, you know, the game really is in a state where you've just had so many champions that previously were completely unusable, and now they're like super good or god tier or just absolutely broken. The goal of any new free-to-play account is really just like maximizing the chances that you're going to pull a really good champion. So it's just, you know, doing incursions, doing the side event, I would say are like the two biggest things that just helped me kind of build up a really good foundational roster, and really just gave me the opportunity to just keep on opening those 5-star crystals and keep on rolling. And again, you'll hit that point where you get one really good champion, and it just allows you to then kind of like slap on a booster, like smash through some content that's a little bit higher, and hopefully you get a little bit luckier and just keep on chaining on the god tiers and eventually kind of build together a roster that's going to get you through Thronebreaker. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, again, a lot of strategy, a lot of talk today about getting Thronebreaker quickly on a free-to-play account, but hopefully this gives you a little bit of an insight, if you haven't closely been following the streams, as to exactly what we did on every single day to kind of progress the account, move forward, you know, maximize the amount of champions we could get the rank up resources we needed, and some of the stuff that I was thinking about when I was looking at allocating like ISO to rank up champions. But yeah, this is a really, really fun challenge. I'm so glad as well we managed to get it down in 25 days. And the next stop is Paragon. And I'm already like cooking up a plan, but I'm a lot less experienced because I haven't even got Paragon on the main account. In like how to get there and some of the quests and challenges that do lie ahead. So I've got a lot of learning to do, a little bit of strategy to come up with, but hopefully you enjoy kind of the first part of this free-to-play account. And yeah, I'm so happy we got Thronebreaker in 25 days, man. It's just a little bit mad, but I genuinely do believe a better player with a little bit of luck as well, because, you know, it does involve getting the right champions, getting the right counters to get through toward the end of Act 6. I think somebody is going to do it in under a week by the end of the year. So yeah, that's my challenge to any sweaty tryhard that wants to try that. But yeah, make sure you stream it live or do a lot of recording, because yeah, I'm very interested to watch some of those runs. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.